This is my DNRS Journal, which I'm just sharing some thoughts and insights that hopefully will be helpful to some other people. And this one is just sharing some thoughts that I have about the idea of emotional triggers of limbic symptoms. That is, rather than thinking about my symptoms as leading to a certain emotional reaction, whether that's frustration or depression or what have you, um, that this neurological connection flows, in fact, both ways, such that the emotion, the cart has become the horse. I think typically that's been that's very typical for me, leading to a symptomatic response. Now, I will say that as my limbic system has calmed down, which it started to do immediately upon starting this program, as it's been moving, so to speak, in slow motion, it's also been easier to observe it in action. So it's still uh, 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 acting up, but much milder, and I feel like I can see what's going on more clearly as it's slowed down. So this week has been more of a challenge for me because of a somewhat unexpected emotional trigger. In retrospect, it seems clear, but it still kind of took me by surprise. Um, so all along, as I've been experiencing this chronic illness, what I supposed was chronic illness, going back a number of years, I didn't have the emotional wherewithal to deal with all sorts of stressors in my life that are, pretty normal in a human life, normal in my life, but that I dealt with fine before, but just couldn't quite, just wanted to get away from them, and I don't know, just couldn't handle them, I felt like. And this included when things would pile up on me at work, along with maybe some bad relationships coming from work and so forth and so on. So at one time, I would just feel like, gosh, I got all these balls in the air, and they're balls that I don't really want to have in the air. And I just would, oh, I can't deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't even want to think about it. And I would just get this, just feeling in the pit of my stomach and my chest of just wanting to run away from it all. Even though rationally I would kind of know it's not that bad, and I can handle all of this, but I knew this was coming from, or I thought this was coming from mold exposure, that this was my illness. um, Now I now see that this is my limbic system acting up. It's pretty clear now what's happening. Didn't know it at the time. So, you know, things this week have got piled up, felt like I had a lot of balls in the air. Again, not that bad objectively, but that feeling came back. Not something that I would ordinarily associate with my old mold symptoms of like a headache and a foggy head. It wasn't that. It was just this feeling in the pit of my stomach of just like dread of all the stuff I had to do. And again, recognizing that it really wasn't all that much. What my limbic system wanted me to think about was, what are these balls that I have to keep in the air, and am I keeping track of them? And are there other ones that I need to keep track of? And that would just again get this feeling of dread, and just realizing through the process of DNRS, hold on, this is not about the balls any in the air any more than it's about the musty room or the imagination of what's happening from old carpet or anything else. It's my limbic system. So I was able to turn, although it, again, in retrospect, this seems obvious from a limbic point of view, but it took a while for it to click in my emotional dread. Oh my God, this is limbic. And so talking to my limbic system, telling it to calm down. Don't look at the balls in the air. It's not about the balls in the air. It's about the limbic system overreacting, needing to calm down. uh, that has been helpful, very helpful to identify, to name the beast. Um, and uh, yeah, it's been more of a challenging week for that reason. I can see how the emotional baggage, I guess, of a chronic illness can be a particularly sticky wicket. Um, I'm going to continue to think about it and work through. But yeah, that's all. Just sharing that experience of the exploring, thinking about making conscious, naming, and identifying these emotional limbic triggers as part of disrupting that pathway to deal with those as a distinct limbic dysfunction, symptom of limbic dysfunction. So, anyway, hope that helps. Take care.